To get us started in our first lesson in microliterature, we're going to do some exercises where we write some kind of old forms of writing. Actually, they're not very new at all, called vignettes and character sketches. Both of them have long and ancient roots in many traditions of literature. But they're also very short, compact, and I think they help get us started in some of the hallmarks of what it turns out to be good writing, whether it be for fiction, poetry, or even non-fiction. A vignette is a word that originally meant something written on a vine leaf, something that would be so short that it could be written in a very small place. It's essentially a snapshot in words. It's not exactly the same as flash fiction or a short story, because flash fiction, a short story, tries to tell a complete tale, whereas a vignette only gives us a small portion of that. Vignette focuses on an element like mood, character, a setting, or a significant object in a scene. It's very descriptive, excellent for character or theme exploration, and the vignette, you create an atmosphere. And this definition, by the way, that you should see now, comes from Jessica Bell, Don Ios of Vine Leaves Literary Magazine. It's one of the best magazines right now available that publishes specifically vignette work. A character sketch is devoted, this dictionary definition, devoted to an analysis or representation of a character, especially peculiar, eccentric, strongly marked individuality, or to description stressing a character of a place. I've got a couple of overblown examples here on the screen. But what oftentimes happens with a character sketch is that the writer is trying to, in a sense, describe, draw a picture, but draws a picture not just of a literal physical description, but of describing that person in a way that tells us more about the person as an actual human being. The hallmarks of both are strong, clear, vivid description. As I said, appeal to all the senses, not just what things look like, but try very hard to think what sounds like, smell, taste. Try to appeal to as many of the senses in either of those as you can. As with most good writing, you want to do a lot of showing, not telling. We don't want to tell people feelings, or we want to tell people what actions mean. We don't need to do that for a reader. We need to just show them what's there and let the reader come to the conclusions. Both the vignette and the character sketch seem very poetic, because we sometimes use very poetic language, very descriptive language. It evokes mood and atmosphere a lot more than a plot. When we get to flash fiction and we start working on short stories themselves, you'll find that we're trying to move a lot of things through an arc of a story. Whereas with these early pieces, what we're going to do is mostly look at the mood and the atmosphere. Like all good writing, these should have well-chosen and economic language and vocabulary. We're trying to say as much as we can with fewer words, but more well-chosen words. Not necessarily small ones, not necessarily big ones, but the best words to suit our purposes. Okay? Now, one of the things I'd like to show you, in addition, remember that before you take your quiz on this particular topic, you're going to do a little reading, and that reading is going to be in the reading section. You'll probably click on the prose folder here. There are 3 readings that you're going to look at. One of them is an excerpt by Anne Dillard from a classic book of nonfiction, actually, called Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. Okay. One of the other pieces is Railroads. It's a very, very short little piece, almost descriptive, by E.B. White, famous for Charlotte's Web, and a number of great essays. And your third will be a couple of excerpts from some short stories by Flannery O'Connor. Thank you very much, and good luck.